Welcome to Brackets Play Sunday here in the FLOR-BAMA Super Regional NIT tournament put on by USSSA, broadcast by USSSA Sports Network. I'm Doc. I'll be your commentator throughout the day, covering all 10U bracket play, culminating with the championship. I'm Doc. I'll be your commentator throughout the day. Sorry about that. Culminating with the championship later this afternoon, slated to start at 3:50 p.m. So we'll keep you posted on that as we go throughout the day. Let me first bring up, let's talk about the lineups. So the Tropics will be the visitors in this one since they are the lower seed after pool play. So we'll just go through their batting lineup real quick. It's going to be Nicholas, followed by Koa, John, Caleb, Easton, Barrett, Bryce, Tucker, McCoy, Kendon, and then subbing is Curran. For the Tridents, leading off is going to be Landon. He'll be followed by Tristan, Harrison, Brian, JD, Mac, Mason, Jake, Curtis, and Jackson. Pitching for the Tridents this morning is going to be Harrison, and catching is Mason. This is Doc. This is the USSSA Sports Network. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a moment with live baseball action. All right, folks, we're back, about to get underway. A quick pitching change for the Tridents. It is not Harrison, it's actually Jackson on the mound for the Tridents. All right. Let's see. It's about to get underway here in just a moment. Coaches and umpires talking over a couple things. And once they're done, we'll get started. Again, thanks for joining the broadcast here on YouTube. So glad to have you on Facebook as well if you're there. Make sure you follow and like and share on Facebook, on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, and also share the subscriptions and like. And also make sure you like the videos because the likes and the subscriptions really help our channel grow to get advertiser sponsors as well as monetization, so that way we can enhance the experience for you, the fans, and these players. We also have a TikTok channel as well as Instagram and on X, formerly known as Twitter. So please check us out and provide feedback where we can to make things better for you. All right, so we're about to get underway here as Nicholas steps in the batter's box. And Jackson's about to deliver his first pitch to Mason. And the pitch. Ball off the plate. And Bracket Play Sunday is underway. Jackson looks in, gets a sign, delivers, and it's 2-0. So 2 balls, no strikes. Nobody out, nobody on. Just underway here in the first game of 5, actually. Today we're broadcasting all of the 10U bracket play. At the end of the game, at the end of the championship game, we'll do some post-game interviews with some players that were key in that championship for the winning team. Ball low, and it's 3-0. And, of course, at the end of the tournament, we will do a highlight reel. So make sure you check that out as well. We cover three different areas, which is offense, defense, and pitching. And we also will include that interview after the championship up there as well in the highlight reel. Called strike, and now the count's 3-1. So Jackson settled down, got that strike across the plate. We'll see what he can do against Nicholas here. And tries to bunt, and that's going to be strike 2. So full count now. Great job by Jackson working that bat from a 3-0 deficit to a full count. And it's all going to come down to this. And the 3-2. Ball 4. And that puts Nicholas on. That brings in Koa. John on deck. Nicholas gets his lead down at first. Jackson checks. Looks in, gets a sign from Mason. Nicholas has a huge lead at first. And Jackson makes sure he stays put. Jackson looks in, gets a sign. Nicholas a big lead. I have a feeling Nicholas is going to go right here if Jackson pitches. Nope, Jackson goes back to first. Nicholas dives back in. No pitches yet to Koa. And Jackson delivers. There goes Nicholas. Ball in the dirt. And that allows Nicholas to go into second base. So Nicholas on second. Koa with a 1-0 count on him. And the 1-0 pitch from Jackson. There goes Nicholas to third. That ball is high above Koa's head. That gets away from Mason. That allows Nicholas to go to third. And it's a 2-0 count to Koa. And the 2-0 pitch. Pop foul right here by us. Nice catch there by the dad behind the screen. And it's a 2-1 count now. So 2 balls, 1 strike. Nobody out. Nicholas at third as the Tropics are threatening here in the first. And the pitch. Ball in the dirt. That gets away. Here comes Nicholas home. And he will be safe. Oops. So it's ball 3 to Koa. And it's a 1-0 ball game. Tropics in the lead. 3-1 count on Koa. On deck, like I said, is John. We're here in the top of the first inning. All right, so back to action here. Jackson looks in, gets his sign. He comes set and delivers the 3-1 pitch. That's ball 4. So Koa's on. That brings in John. On deck will be Caleb. Koa gets his lead at first. And see if he goes on this pitch. I bet he will. There he goes. Throw down by Mason. Not in time. As Koa goes in standing up. And I think that was a strike. So we'll call it a strike for now. We'll see. So I believe it's an 0-1 count on John. Koa at second. He gets his big lead. And Jackson delivers. There goes Koa. Called strike. And he's safe. So Koa takes third. I believe it's an 0-2 count. It might be 1-1, but I believe it's 0-2. It is 1-1. Okay. Oops. There we go. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out. Koa at third. 1 run across so far here in the top of the first inning. There's a pop fly to the first base. First base couldn't come up with it. And John's going to be on. So it'll put runners at first and third. For the Tropics as the inning continues. And there goes John. Wild pitch. Here comes Koa. Nope, Koa stops about halfway down the line. That was good because Mason actually got to the ball very quickly. Jackson covered the plate, and Koa probably would have been out had he continued on. But John does move over to second base. That's a 1-0 count to Caleb. Easton on deck. And the pitch. Called strike. And it's 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out. 2 on. A 1-0 lead so far here in the top of the first for the Tropics. Beautiful day here in Destin, Florida, by the way, at the Morgan Sports Center. We're on Dolphin Field, facing outward towards the beach. Jackson checks Koa at third. And just absolutely not a cloud, well, some very high light clouds, but for the most part, clear blue sky everywhere. Temperatures are nice. Couldn't ask for a better day. There's a pop fly into left field. Left fielder going back. Over his head. That's going to score Koa. John's rounding third. He's coming home. And John will be safe. So a 2-run double by Caleb puts the Tropics out in front. 3-0. Still nobody out. That brings in Easton. So the next game following this one, coming up, I'll tell you that in a second, that is going to be Canes versus Florida Extreme Bounty Hunters right here coming up next. So ball 1 to Easton. Nice job by Mason to stop Caleb from going to third. Barrett is on deck. And the pitch. Ball just a little bit up, and that makes it 2-0 to Easton. So 2 balls, no strikes. Nobody out. Caleb stands down at second base after the 2 RBI double into left field. A deep drive. Score Koa and John. Of course, earlier Nicholas came home on a wild pitch, and that's where we stand. And the pitch. Ball in the dirt. And it's 3-0. So 3 balls, no strikes. To Easton. And the pitch. Ball 4. And Easton's on first. So the inning continues. Barrett steps into the batter's box. Bryce on deck. Quick timeout. The coach goes out to talk to Jackson. And with that, we'll take a small break here. This is Doc on USSSA Sports Network. All right, we're back, folks. Pitching change. Landon goes in to take over pitching duties for Jackson. Barrett steps into the batter's box. That's ball one. Still nobody out. Got Caleb at second, Easton at first. A 1-0 count to Barrett. And the pitch. Called strike. And it's 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out, 2 on, 3 runs across. We are in the top of the first. And the pitch. Ground ball to third. Had a little trouble fielding it. And bases are now loaded for Bryce, with Tucker coming out on deck. Call strike on the outside corner, and it's 0-1. So no balls, 1 strike to Bryce. Got Barrett at first, Easton at second, Caleb at third. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Foul ball, and we'll do 0-2 again. So no balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out, bases loaded for the Tropics. And the pitch. Ball just a little bit up, makes it a 1-2 count. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the pitch. Nice stop by Mason. That could have spelled another run. And it's 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch. Ball outside, gets away from Mason. Here comes Caleb. And he's safe. All right, so full count now. And the pitch. There's a line side in the center field. That's getting down. That's going to score 2 more as it goes to the fence. Bryce is headed into second base with a 2 RBI double. And the Tropics are up 6-0. So the inning continues for the Tropics as Tucker steps in, McCoy on deck. And the pitch. There goes Bryce in third. Nice bunt down the line. It stays on the line. Wow. What an incredible bunt by Tucker. I mean, that ball did not move off that line. So that puts runners on first and third. So bunt single. And, wow, that was one heck of a bunt. There goes Tucker to second. He's in there easy. There's ball one to McCoy. Kendon on deck. So Tucker on second, Bryce at third. Ball in the dirt. It's 2-0. So 2 balls, no strikes. Called strike, and it's 2-1. So 2 balls, 1 strike. And the 2-1. Foul ball. Oh, actually, it was a swing and a miss. And 2 runs come in, or they didn't get him at home. So 1 run comes in, and that's Bryce. They get Tucker at home. And that's 1 out. So it's 2 balls, 2 strikes, I believe, to McCoy. A 7-run lead for the Tropics. All right, so back to live action. I believe McCoy has a 2-2 count on him. Again, Kendon on deck. 1 out now. And the pitch. Foul ball at the plate, and the count remains 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Nobody on base right now. And the 2-2 pitch. Outside. And it's a full count. And the pitch. Ball 4. And that puts McCoy on. Kendon steps into the batter's box. Nicholas on deck as we flip back over to the top of the order. So Tucker's going to go and pinch run for McCoy. I'm not sure if he's the pitcher or catcher. He's not going to go run. So McCoy will stay on base and run for himself. I don't know if he's the pitcher or catcher for the Tropics. We'll see shortly. And there goes McCoy. Ball inside. And no throw as no one was covering second. So Kendon has a 1-0 count. McCoy at second. And the pitch. Ground ball right back to Landon. Landon fields it over to first. And that is 2 outs. But that does move McCoy over to third. That brings in Nicholas. So back to the top of the order. Koa comes out on deck. McCoy at third. So Nicholas walked and scored his first time up. And the pitch. There's a bunt. Oh, beautiful bunt in front of the plate. There's the throw down the first. And they don't get him, and another run scores. And it's an 8-0 game now. And it continues. Koa steps into the batter's box. He walked and scored his first time up. John's on deck. John reached on an error and scored. And there goes Nicholas. Called strike. Swing and a miss to Koa. And the pitch. There goes Nicholas to third. Foul ball. That's an 0-2 count to Koa. So no balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs. Nicholas at second. Nicholas is on the move to third. Ball inside. And 1-2 count as Nicholas easily goes into third. And the 1-2 pitch. Foul ball. And we'll do 1-2 again. As Koa fought that one off the hands. Nicholas at third. Landon comes set, delivers the 1-2 pitch. Ground ball to short. Shortstop gets past the shortstop into left field, so it's an RBI single for Koa. And it's 9-0. And it continues. It brings in John. Caleb's on deck. Caleb doubled in 2 RBIs and scored his first time up. And the pitch. There goes Koa. That gets past Mason. Koa goes easily into second base. It's ball 1 to John. And the pitch. There goes Koa. Koa's easily in the second base. That ball gets away from third baseman, and Koa's going to score. All right, so I believe it's a 2-0 count to John. Caleb was on deck, like I mentioned. There's 2 down.
Let's go, boys. 2 down. Let's go. Get ready.
So 2-0 count to John. Nobody on base. And the 2-0 pitch from Landon. Foul ball. And it's 2-1. So 2 balls, 1 strike. Swing and a miss. Strike two. And here's the 2-2 pitch from Landon. And it's a full count. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. Caleb on deck. Landon looks in, gets his sign. Comes set and delivers the 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. Coach is going to call timeout and go out and talk to his pitcher. And with that, we'll take a small break here. This is Doc with the USSSA Sports Network. All right, folks, we're back. Pitching change. Jake going in to take over pitching duties from Landon. Caleb steps in. John on first. 2 outs. We are in the top of the first inning here of 10U bracket play. And the USSSA FLOR-BAMA Super Regional NIT. And the pitch. There goes John, and ball 1. And John's easily into second base. So 1-0 count to Caleb. On deck is Easton. And the pitch. Ball off the plate. Gets away from Mason. And John goes to third. So 2-0 count. Jake delivers. There's a ground ball to second. Filled it cleanly. Over to first. And that is 3 outs. All right, so Tropics pick up 10 on 4 hits, 3 errors, and leave 1 on base. And at the end of half inning, it's the Tropics 10, Tridents 0. Coming up for the Tridents is going to be Landon, Tristan, and Harrison. This is Doc, the USSSA Sports Network. We'll be back. All right, folks, we're back as Landon steps in. On the mound is McCoy, and behind the plate is Bryce. There's the first pitch from McCoy. Ball one. So 1-0 count to Landon. Here in the bottom of the first inning. Continue bracket play. Ball two. Also like to thank tournament director Matt Grant for his tireless efforts to not only make sure this tournament goes off without a hitch and everything is smooth, but he also certainly helped getting the word out about the broadcast. So 3-0. So a lot of thanks to him. Really appreciate his hard work to make this happen. So by the time we're done today, we will cover 11 games between 12U and 10U this weekend. Ball four, and Landon's on. That brings in Tristan. On deck is Harrison.
Now batting for the Tridents, Tristan Scallon.
Landon immediately went to second base, and he's in there. Wow. Smart base running by Landon.
Hey, Tris, get in there and get small. Make it go straight. Let's go, Tropics!
So Landon standing down at second base with some smart base running. Tristan steps in. Harrison on deck. And a pitch. Called strike. There goes Landon to third. And they get him. So one down. 0-1 count to Tristan. Ball high, and it's 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out. And the pitch. Just a little bit up. It's 2-1. So 2 balls, 1 strike. And the 2-1 pitch. Ground ball to first, fielded. First baseman takes it himself. Oh, no, and he's safe. Nice hustle by Tristan to beat out that the first baseman to get to first. And Tristan's on with an infield single. All right, so they're calling him safe at first, as first called. So here we go. Tristan's at first. 1 down. Step in the batter's box is Harrison. On deck is Brian.
Now batting for the Tridents, number 3, Harrison Clyde.
Morning. And the pitch. Ball low. And it's a 1-0 count to Harrison. All right, so Tristan takes second base. Okay, so Tristan will remain at first base. There was no pitch on that. The umpire had called time. Okay, so 3 balls, 1 strike on Harrison. Called strike, and it's a full count as Tristan takes second base. And the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Throw to third. And ball just gets past the third baseman. A nice try down there. So 2 down. Tristan at third. That'll bring in Brian with JD coming out on deck. Very quickly, though. I believe that was number 27. Maybe not. Yes, Koa at third that made that great try down there at third base to snag that one. So kudos to him. A nice throw by Bryce as well. All right, so Brian steps in. Tristan, Tristan at third, and the pitch. Nice stop by Bryce. That's ball 1. So 1 ball, no strikes. And the 1-0 pitch from McCoy. Called strike, and that's 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. And the 1-1 pitch. Strike 2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Tristan at third. And the pitch. Foul ball just out the right side here, out of play. All right, here we go. 1 ball, 2 strikes. McCoy delivers. Fly ball, foul, right side. Nice catch by the first baseman. I don't think you can see it on video, but if it is, we'll definitely put it in the highlight reel. A diving catch. And that's 3 outs, so no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. At the end of 1 inning, it is the Tropics 10, Trident 0. Coming up for the Tropics is going to be Easton, Barrett, and Bryce. This is Doc, the USSSA Sports Network. We'll be right back. All right, so the throwers getting ready to go down to second base after the warm-ups. And we're going to get started here. So Easton will be leading things off here. He'll be followed by Barrett, who'll be on deck. And the third batter of this inning will be Bryce. So Easton walked and scored his first time up. And Barrett reached on error and scored. There's the first pitch, ball high. So it's a 1-0 count to Easton. And the 1-0 pitch. Line shot down the third base side, foul. And by the way, so it's a 1-1 count. Jake is still on the mound. And Mason's still behind the plate, I believe. It could be somebody different. I need to check that. I'll check that in a second. I'll get clarification on who's catching. It's a 1-1 count. There's a pop fly into shallow left fielder, or center fielder coming in. Sorry, shallow left center. Nice catch. And there's one away. So one down. That brings in Barrett. Bryce on deck. There's a bunt. Fielded cleanly by Jake. 2 down. Nice job. Nice job by Jake to field that one cleanly. And that's 2 down. I did get clarification. That's Landon behind the plate. As Bryce steps in, Tucker comes out on deck with 2 outs. Called strike. First pitch on Bryce. And 0-1 count now as Jake is quickly ahead. Foul ball at the plate here, and it's quickly 0-2. So Jake is way ahead of the batters in this one. 2 quick outs. Actually, Jake had come in last inning and shut everything down. There's a line shot. That's going to get through. Cut off by the center fielder. And Bryce is now 2 for 2 on the day with a 2-out single. His first time up, he doubled in 2 RBIs and scored. Now following is Tucker, who had the masterful bunt. And down the third base line. So he's 1 for 1 right now. Bryce goes. Called strike. And the pitch. Fly ball. Left center. Center field's under it. Makes the catch. And that's 3 outs. So no runs. 1 hit, no errors, 1 left at the end of 1.5. Tropics 10, Tridents 0. Coming up for the Tridents is going to be JD, Mac, and Mason. This is Doc, the USSSA Sports Network. We'll be back. All right, folks, we're back. JD steps in to get things started for the Tridents here in the bottom of this, or excuse me, top of the second inning. Or what is wrong with me? Sorry, bottom of the second inning. There's a ball high. McCoy's still on the mound with Bryce still behind the plate. It's a 1-0 count to JD. And the 1-0 pitch. Call strike. It's now 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Just getting underway here in the bottom of the second inning. A great defensive inning in the top of the second for the Tridents. Pop foul, heads up there. Wow. So 1-2 count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ball off the plate. It's 2-2. Just a reminder, if you're watching this on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe. That helps our channel grow to enhance the experience for you, the fans, and these players. There's a ground ball, first base side, fielded cleanly, and 1 down. So 1 out.
For the Tridents.
That brings in Mac. On deck is Mason. And if you're watching on Facebook, please make sure you like and share and follow. There's a pop fly on the infield. Koa's undered it. Couldn't come up with it. And Mac has new life with an 0-1 count. Also, check us out on TikTok, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter. Lots of content everywhere as we continue to expand our coverage. We're also looking for a broadcaster, so if you know someone who's interested, swing and a miss, strike 2. And broadcasting, even if it's amateur or just want to have fun on the weekends and love youth baseball and softball, please reach out to us. You can do it in the comments of the games, foul ball, and remains 0-2. Or shoot an email to TB as in boy, USSSA, that's 3 S's and A, at gmail.com. So that's TBUSSA at gmail.com. And foul ball. So Mac is hanging in there with an 0-2 count. Getting the bat on the ball. On deck is Mason. Looks like coming up next is the Canes and Extreme Bounty Hunters. There's a line shot. Nice catch by the shortstop. A nice hit by Mac. And that's 2 down.
Now batting for the Tridents, number 21, Mason Bailey.
So Mason steps in. Jake is on deck. And the pitch. Ball high. And it's 1-0. So McCoy looks in, gets the sign, delivers. Pop fly. Nice try by the first baseman, and Mason is in there. So we'll call it with an infield single.
Coming to bat for the Tridents, number 7, Spring Break.
And on that play, Mason actually goes to second. So 2 outs. So McCoy checks Mason at second. He's back in time. Ball low. So it's a 1-0 count to Jake. And a pitch. That gets away from Bryce. That'll move Mason over to third. That's a 2-0 count to Jake. So 2 balls, no strikes. 2 outs. Mason at third. It's 2-1. Ball off the plate. It's 3-1 now. So 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Again, Curtis on deck. McCoy looks in, gets a sign from Bryce. He sets. And no, he goes to third base. Caught Mason, and Mason just went all the way in and scored. The Tridents are on the board now, cutting into that lead. And it remains a 3-1 count to Jake. So great job, great base running by Mason to put that first one across for the Tridents. And the pitch. Strike 2. And it's a full count. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Nobody on base. Tridents cut into the lead this inning. We're in the bottom of the second. Call strike 3, and that is 3 outs. However, Tridents pick up 1 on 1 hit. No errors and nobody left at the end of 2. Tridents 1, Tropics 10. Coming up in the third is going to be McCoy, Kendon, and back to the top of the order with Nicholas. This is Doc, the USSSA Sports Network. We'll be right back. All right, so quick correction. Well, not correction, actually, but Curran is going in to hit for McCoy for the Tropics. To lead things off here in the third. There's a base hit into left field right off the gate. One pitch, one hit. And Curran's on with a leadoff single. To start things off here in the top of the third for the Tropics. All right, so Kendon steps in. Nicholas on deck. Curran gets his lead. Jake checks Curran at first. He's back in time. Actually, he didn't even throw over. There goes Curran. Called strike. And Curran goes safely into second base. So no balls, one strike. Curran at second. Kendon at the plate. Nicholas on deck. Bunt foul. And it's 2 strikes now on Kendon. So he must swing away. So we are in bracket play. There's a ground ball to second, fielded cleanly over to first, and that is one away. As Curran goes to third. That brings in Nicholas. So Nicholas has walked, reached on there, but scored twice. There's a fly ball. That's going to get down just over the shortstop's head. That's going to score Curran. And a RBI single for Nicholas. Here in the top of the third. It's called strike as Nicholas goes safely into second base. Koa's at the plate. John's on deck. So Koa singled, drove an RBI, and scored twice, as well as walked. Foul ball, and that's going to make it 0-2 on Koa. I would say for the most part, Koa is a very aggressive hitter. But he's done really well. And the pitch. There's a pop fly on the infield. Shortstop's coming in. Makes the catch. And that is 2 outs. That brings in John. Caleb on deck. So John's walked, reached on air, and scored. So 2 down. There goes Nicholas to third. Called strike, and he's into third base safely. And the pitch. There's a pop fly on the infield. That is foul. And it's 0-2. So no 2 count on John. Again, Caleb on deck.
Hey, let's go, John Rob. Hey, win this battle right here.
And the pitch. Ball just outside. That's 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jake checks Nicholas at third, and Nicholas will go back into third base. They almost had him in a rundown. So the game coming up next year is going to be the Canes and Extreme Baseball. That'll be following this one. The winner of this game, I believe, goes on to play the Reds. So Jake checks Nicholas at third. He's back. And the pitch. It's a ground ball to short. Fielded. Just couldn't come up with it. And another run scores. And that puts John on first. That brings in Caleb. Caleb is 1 for 2, doubled, drove in 2 RBIs, and scored his first time up. John gets his lead down at first base. And there he goes. Line side in right field. That's getting down for a hit. And that allows John to go all the way to third base. Actually, he's coming on home. Here's the throw. He's in there. That allows Caleb to go to second base. And that's where he'll hold. So 13-1 to 1 lead. 2 runs put up this inning by the Tropics. So Caleb's 2 for 3, 3 RBIs. That brings in Easton. Barrett on deck. Ball just off the plate, and it's 1-0 count. So 1 ball, no strikes. Caleb remains at second. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Nice stop by Landon. It's a 1-1 count. So 1 ball, 1 strike. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Caleb holds at second. So 1-2 count on Easton. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Caleb at second. Barrett on deck. And the pitch. Foul ball. Easton pulled that one. Foul. It's a shot. Again, thank you all for joining us here on the broadcast of your SSSA Sports Network of the FLOR-BAMA Super Regional NIT 10U and 12U action. Today will be all 10U. Yesterday was a mix. And there's called strike 3, and that is 3 outs. But Tropics put up 2 on 3 hits, 1 error, and 1 left at the end of sorry, they put up 3, my bad, at the end of 2.5. It's the Tropics 13, Tridents 1. This is Doc, the USSSA Sports Network. We'll be back. All right, folks, we're back. Pitching change for the Tropics. It's called strike on. So John is the new pitcher. And Curtis steps in for Tridents. Takes a strike 1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Ball low and outside, and it's 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. On deck is Jackson. It's ball 2, so 2-2 now. Bryce still behind the plate.
One more, John Rob.
And the pitch. That's ball 3. So full count. So Curtis has worked it back to a full count. We're here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. It's a ball outside. And that puts Curtis on first base with a leadoff walk here in the bottom of the 3rd. That brings in Jackson. So Curtis on first. Ball outside. Bryce throws down to second base. And they get him! Nice job by Bryce to get Curtis, and that's one down. That will be in the highlight reel, by the way. So Jackson steps in. On deck is Landon. And the pitch. Pop fly foul. Koa's on it. It just hit the screen and rolled off just out of the reach there. As Koa's coming over from third base to get that one. So no one counts. John looks in, gets his sign, sets, and delivers to Bryce. That's a 1-1 count. So 1 ball, 1 strike. And the pitch. And it's 2-0. Or excuse me, 2-1. So 2 balls, 1 strike. One out. And the pitch. Called strike on the inside corner. And it's now 2-2. And that is strike 3. So 2 down. That brings in Landon. On deck is Tristan.
Coming to bat for the Tridents, number 55, Landon Russ.
And the pitch. Ball outside and low. And it's going to be 1-0 to Landon.
Hey, one more, Tropics.
And the pitch.
Hey, right here, right here, right here.
That hit him. And so Landon's on with a walk here in the 2-out walk, as a matter of fact, here in the bottom of the third. That'll bring in Tristan.
For the Tridents, Tristan Scallon.
On deck will be Harrison. There goes Landon. Throw down by Bryce, not in time. It's 2 balls to Tristan. So a 2-0 count. And it's ball 3. So 3-0 to Tristan. Landon at second. 2 outs. Bottom of third. John on the mound. Bryce behind the plate. And the pitch. It's a ground ball to second. Over to first, and that is 3 outs. So no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left at the end of 3. It's the Tridents 1, Tropics 13. Coming up for the Tropics in the 4th is going to be Barrett, Bryce, and Tucker. This is Doc, the USSSA Sports Network. We'll be back. All right, folks, I didn't realize that is the ball game. Final score here, Tropics 13, Tridents 1. They'll move on to bracket play. The rest of the next game of bracket play, I believe, is against the Reds. So this is Doc, the Utah State Sports Network. We'll be covering the Canes and Extreme Bounty Hunters here coming up and momentarily, so make sure you watch for that one. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in a bit.